part 2 of module 3, Planets Earth Ascension. And now it's time to talk about a little bit of the science behind it. Let me start by saying quite honestly that there is a lot of science behind all of this ascension process that we're talking about right now. However, this science resides more into the spiritual or even quantum understanding of how our bodies work. And this is something that has been neglected to us for a long time, especially with modern science. So if I give you just a little bit of information, it's just to, again, teach you to learn a little bit more about it. I myself am going through the process of understanding this even more. So I apologize if this is not complete in all the senses. And if you have anything else to share that coincides with anything that I'm talking about here, please share it, because this is the way we all get nourished together. So there's a couple of things when we talk about science of ascension as it is, and we have to go into the quantum level of things. We know that consciousness is a state of vibration, and everything, actually being energy, is a state of vibration. As we go into the science of it, we realize that matter is affected by consciousness. We are in effect creating the world around us. We are in a participatory universe, which means that we create this universe as it is, and it has to do with our focus of attention to it. Our consciousness is also affecting the vibration of everything around us, and that's why in some of the things called cymatics, we can see how the vibration of sound creates geometric patterns, and we already established that the whole universe is a series of geometries. This is also why sacred geometry exists, and it's also why people who go through their psychedelic trips in different with different substances, they can see these geometries that makes no sense to them, but all they're seeing is basically the blueprint of the universe. So geometry and vibration are interrelated here. Consciousness being the one that affects the most this sort of patterns that we see in nature. We do this, and we can see this in experiments that they have done with water, simple water, by people having to concentrate on water in a loving manner or a hateful manner, or even writing on a piece of a petri dish that has water, write hate or love, freezing it, and then seeing the crystal formation. This has a huge impact in it, and we can now measure that this is happening at a quantum level, and even at a measurable level with microscopes. We can see the patterns that develop over this. All is this to say that vibration is the nature of the universe. There is energy, and then there is vibration. Vibration makes energy move in certain patterns. Why is this important? Because we've been knowing for quite a long time already that our emotions are vibrations too. We have the low vibrations of fear, anger, anxiety, depression, and so on. And then we have the higher levels of vibration, which is love and understanding and contemplation and appreciation and gratitude, and all these things that create the most beautiful patterns of vibration on the universe. Why is this? Well, the reason is because we have known now from channel entities like Ra that love is the original vibration of the universe. It's really what created everything. So every other emotion, every other thing that exists in the universe is actually a distortion of this vibration, of the original thought, if you will. So now that we're going through the process, and this is where it becomes really important, knowing that love is the ultimate vibration of the universe, the Aum that we know from the Hindus and Tibetan Buddhists, is that this is basically the vibration of creation. With love is the only way we can create anything. And this is why we as human beings are co-creators of this reality here on planet Earth and in other dimensions as well. But the point is that as we realize this, we know that through love is that we will be able to progress towards our evolution, our understanding of love. In the Law of One series, we talk about the different paths that exist, the two paths that exist in this level, this dimension, this third density consciousness, as we call it, of humanity. And this is the positive or the negative. Now they're both, even though one is positive and one is negative, and we can see that there is a polarity here, obviously. And some of the people who are in the positive path actually sees the negative as enemies. The truth is that there are no enemies. They're actually two sides of the same coin, because there is the coin of love. The thing is that one side is loving for others, or love for others and service to others, and the other one is love for the self or service to self. The egoic type of person that shuts the heart, whereas the positive opens the heart. The heart obviously is the center of love, and love being a term that I don't like to use too much, but everybody's familiar with it. I don't like it because we have in humanity, at least in this culture, this Western culture, the understanding of love as being something more romantic and being more of an intense affection feeling that to me is very exclusive, but I don't want to get into the details of that. To me, it relates more into appreciation or contemplation, as you can contemplate a beautiful scenario and not be in love with it in the same sense that you're in love with a human being. But it's just the understanding that everything is perfect, everything is beautiful. Just looking at the stars or the cosmos, just give you a pretty good example of what this feeling is. So back into the science of it. This vibration is what's creating the new Earth, because we, if you remember, humanity is not a foreigner to this planet. We didn't just land here and we were riding this bowl of Earth around the sun for no reason. We are an organism, a collective organism, and we are, I like to call it like an organ of the whole organism. Our purpose is to create the new reality that is coming into play. And because the planet actually went already through its cycle of third density consciousness, which is the humanity or the physical beingness of individualized consciousness, we're now entering the boundary, as I explained in the past video, of expanding that sphere, and it's going to happen regardless of the people who are involved here. And this is going to be very important for us to talk about the destiny of Earth, which we'll talk about at the end of this video. But the important part to know is that we are creating this, and the only way to create and participate in this creation is through love. So now that we know that the vibration, the ultimate vibration of the universe is love. Love is shaping everything, is the original thought, and it's actually what creates anything. Then we need to start getting in tune with that, and that is the very important part of our nature right now. Okay, before getting into the destiny of Earth and talking about this and expanding a little bit more, I want to talk about what is called the solar flash. A lot of people have been talking about the solar flash, and there is very good evidence that this is real, that it will happen. There are many school of thoughts that talk about a burst, that it's going to happen in the next 10 years. I tend to believe something different. It might be controversial for some people who are expecting this as the ultimate salvation, which is going to be a cleansing. I know this has been talked about in other cultures, like the Frashakareti is the same thing, or the Samvartaka, that in the Hindus talk about this bowl of fire cleansing everything. And this very well may be how it is, but remember, a lot of these prophecies, as they talked about it, are not actually physical manifestations of what they say. There is definitely an influence of the sun as being the most influential mass of existence here in the solar system. Is actually called the solar system, right? But I don't think it's going to be a burst. Certainly not in the next 10, 20, or 50 years. This is just my speculation. But let's talk about the solar flash and what it actually means. Solar flash is supposed to be an event, like a solar flare, which has been increasing over time in the past couple of years. And it's going to be one massive burst of solar emission that is going to wipe out clean what is called third density here. It's going to eliminate everything that exists in this physical form. It's going to cause a sort of reset into the third density sphere. But this will also activate fully the fourth density sphere that is already activating for the past couple of decades. It's been activated, and entities are able to reside there, or are trying to reside there, but the planet is not fully there because of our distorted vibration, as you can see, especially this year 2020 and 2021 is definitely going to be the same friction that we're causing, and it's not going to be fully activated. However, the solar flash to me doesn't have at least the characteristics that I follow and I understand of how these things work to me. And then again, you know, this is a big caveat here. This is just my speculation. I believe this is going to be a gradual thing. The sun is definitely causing some energy shifts in our nature here. But I think what it's called the solar flash is going to be a steady progress towards the progression and evolution of third density into fourth density. And the reason why I say this is because I believe that there's going to be an activation of the human body so we can transcend into a fourth density body. This makes the most sense, and those who are not at the vibration of love that is needed to reach that fourth density, then those are going to be harvested, as we know it in the law of one, and are going to be taken to another planet where they can continue to progress in their evolution as a soul. But those who can actually vibrate at the level of love required to inhabit this fourth density sphere are going to be able to transition slowly to it. And I don't believe it's going to be one burst. However, I'm always open to the different interpretations, and it could be possible, but that's just my take. If anything, just consider the two as a possibility. A big burst of solar flash, which may happen in the next 10 years according to some sources, or maybe another couple of more decades, even 100, or if we can believe what Ra said, possibly even 700 years before this fully happens. But they were talking about the harvest in any case. However, everything's interrelated, so I'm not sure there. In any case, let's go back to the Earth's destiny. Earth's destiny is to not only create a fourth density positive or fourth density sphere, I got ahead of myself there, a fourth density sphere of habitable, say, land. I don't want to call it land because I'm not sure how it looks, but it is a new state of beingness that we can stay here on Earth and see things evolve from a different angle. It's just a different part of our own stretched out reality, if you will, from all the densities down to the third. But fourth density has been activated here because we've never had fourth density on planet Earth. The question is it going to be a positive or a negative? Well, I just said it. It's going to be a positive one. So Earth is destined to be this loving, say, positive sphere that will inhabit or will harbor life as we know it in fourth density to be here on planet Earth as positive beings. This is going to happen obviously through our own collective consciousness as we create it. Like I mentioned before, we're going through a very harsh process of awakening. This being the name of the video or the course itself. We're going through a very harsh awakening because a lot of people are not understanding their call for their spiritual needs. This is just a disconnection that has been going on for thousands of years between people and their physical and metaphysical reality. But we're waking up to it. And as we wake up to it, we start being a lot more influenced by these energies, and we start getting more and more into the reality of things and away from the illusion that we talked about in Module 1. This is nothing new. This has been talked about for thousands of years, like we talked about, the Ascension being the most important thing that the ancients talked about, at least the positive ancient people, like the Essenes, who handed down to the Gnostics, who Jesus was a student of. And we have also the Egyptians, we have the Mayans, we have the Hindus, and we have so many old traditions and tribes that talked about this, and they were all reinforcing the one thing: be more compassionate, be more loving, and be more caring towards others, because that's what's going to co-create this new reality that we're building right now. So that's all I got for this video. It's the signs of where we're going through and how this, even though we're entering, this in a very, I would say, distorted way and very resistance to it, we're going through it anyways. It's an inevitable process, and it's almost like trying to swim against the tide or the current. And you can make some progress upstream, but eventually you're going to be dragged, because the faster, the closer we get to the time, the faster this current is going to run, and we just need to float with it and see where it takes us, which is going to be always in a good place. So that's all I got. In the next video, we're going to talk about 4D consciousness, what it means, what can we do here now to accommodate for that, and how we can contribute more to the planet, and what it actually means to be this co-creator thing in this reality. I'll see you there.